So this video is going to be a little bit different than what I usually put on this channel. Usually the real talk stuff goes over on my second channel, World of Geekdom, and I have videos called Speakdoms where I talk about like real world stuff and kind of what I'm thinking. But this is in relation to Dragon Ball and to YouTube and to content. So I wanted to do like a real talk type of thing here. And the title of this video is going to be about why do I do the content that I do? Like, why do I do the content I do? Because I feel like it's something that should be discussed, and I want to kind of get out there so people kind of understand where I'm coming from and what my goals were and what my goals still are, right? Because the reality is that although in the past, as a community, we've always had our issues internally. We've always had fights over stuff like dub versus sub, Kai versus Z. You know, it's always been like a thing. But at the end of the day, you know, what unites us is this Dragon Ball cartoon slash comic book, anime slash manga, however you want to call it, that kind of brought us together. Because if it wasn't for Toriyama putting out this work and for us watching it when we were younger, you know, I wouldn't have so many great friends, including many of you, and have met so many great people, point blank. So I want to discuss a little bit about why I make the videos I make. Because first and foremost, we have to talk about sort of the perception some people have of YouTubers. And a lot of folks think that we're just here to make money, right? And that we're just here to capitalize on the YouTube system and all that. And there certainly is an aspect to that in the YouTube sphere that people do that for. Now, when it comes to my specific content and my channel, Dragon Ball topics and talking about Dragon Ball and other anime too, but Dragon Ball is the main one. Obviously, it is my business. This is what I do for a living now, and I very much enjoy it. I'm very blessed and very humbled to be able to do something that I love and get paid for it. And I encourage everybody out there, if you have a passion that you want to chase, whether it be a musician, an artist, whether it be a streamer, a YouTuber, whether it be, you know, anything you want to do, go for it. And you might not get it right away. It might take you a few years of work. You might have to work other jobs like I did. YouTube didn't even exist when I was, you know, in the work field when I first started when I was younger. But, you know, you never know what might happen with the world and what might open up for you. Okay, you never know. Life is funny like that sometimes. So I want to encourage y'all to kind of, you know, remember that. And so I'm very blessed and humbled to be able to get paid to do what I do. And the reality is that I put a lot of hours into this channel. I mean, I put a lot more hours into this channel than I did my regular job that I used to have as an engineer. So folks will say, well, why would you do that? Why would you work harder? Because to me, I enjoy my work. I literally enjoy watching Dragon Ball, talking about Dragon Ball, you know, dissecting Dragon Ball. I like doing that stuff. Like, and so when you do something you like to do, it's not really work. I mean, it is work, but it's not like work in the sense of, oh, you know, I hate my job. No, I love my job. And you're going to have your hard days at the office. We all have them here on this platform. But I still love it, right? It's still something I love to do and I want to continue to do. But the reason why I make my videos, because one of the things I've noticed about sort of criticisms of my channel is that I think a lot of folks have said in the past, they use the word ego, right? Now, this is going to go into a whole thing about why I make my videos and why I am the way that I am. I've discussed the whole ego thing on my second channel in detail, but basically what they're trying to say is that I'm an arrogant person. Now, I will admit that in the past, I have been arrogant. I have behaved in an arrogant way. I'm not an egotistical person or an arrogant person, and I know that because I have my therapist and my close friends who have known me for years who know I'm not like that, but I may have come off that way, right? Now, I want to explain that. Yes, in the past, I have maybe come off a little bit arrogant, but it's not so much arrogance as it is passion for what it is that I do, you know, and what it is that I love about this franchise. As a Dragon Ball fan, the thing about Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, is that Dragon Ball is one of the biggest anime of all time and one of the most viewed on YouTube. It's just YouTube content creators. We have a very rich community of a lot of different people, right? And we have message boards and Reddits and Facebook pages and groups. Dragon Ball is massive, huge. And so a lot of folks have said that Dragon Ball is overrated, but it's one of those things where it's become so overrated that it's become underrated. Because here's the thing. Yes, Dragon Ball is popular. That is a fact. unquestionable fact. But if I'm being honest with you, in no way would I ever sit here and say that Dragon Ball is the best written anime ever made. It's definitely not. I mean, there's other shows that have more concise storytelling, less plot holes, more consistent, a more consistent narrative. Yu Yu Hakusho, for example, I think has a more consistent narrative. Cowboy Bebop, albeit shorter. Full Metal Alchemist. These are shows that have been deemed legendary by the anime fandom for a reason, right? And I would never take away from those shows. But the problem is that because we are Dragon Ball fans, a lot of us are looked down upon by the rest of the anime fandom. A lot of anime fans are good people, but some of them come off like very much, snobs and elitists. And I've been dealing with these people for a long time, since high school. And a lot of them will sit there and say, oh, DBZ, that's what you like? Well, it's not as good as Kuchi Kuchi Kakuchi Ka Migada or something. Like, they'll name some random show that none of us have ever heard of before. And it's probably a good show. I'm not knocking it, but they tend to kind of be the tea drinking sort of elitist. And nothing wrong with being a purist on something, because I'm a Dragon Ball purist, right? But it's one of those things where, like, my goal here is to kind of equip you guys to not only be able to debate these people and have positive discussions about Dragon Ball, but to appreciate Dragon Ball more, because the reality is that even though Dragon Ball might not be the best written series ever, it is a very, very good and culturally rich product, and it does have a storyline, it does have character arcs, it does have development, it does have morals. Dragon Ball has all kinds of deep themes that I think a lot of people don't really pick up on because they either haven't seen it in a long time or they don't recognize the culture. Some of them grew up with the dub. And one thing that I have to make clear, that I've been making clear over and over again, is that, I've interviewed a lot of the dub actors, right? And the Dragon Ball Z English dub, without question, because of all the dub changes, not the acting, because of the actual script, has created a major problem in the fandom, only because people don't understand things, because they made so many changes in the series that it created a bit of confusion among the fan base, because there are moments in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, specifically Dragon Ball Z, and even GT, where Goku and Vegeta and other characters act weird, they act different. So when you watch Super, either in Japanese or dub or whatever, there are things that kind of go together, and there's things that don't too, but you don't recognize it because you don't understand like the original context, you know what I mean? And because of the changes in the dub, the context for a lot of the scenes have been eradicated. They've been changed because they did so many changes for the English dub. Episodes have sometimes 45 to 60 dub changes every episode, which is not even acceptable for a lot of anime nowadays. But, like, the thing is that I'm not in any way saying you shouldn't enjoy what you grew up with. I would never say that to you. But my goal is to kind of say, okay, that's cool, but let's become a more hardcore fan. Let's look at this, and this. Because I feel like a lot of you guys grew up like me, watching other forms of media, other forms of entertainment, playing video games, all that cool stuff that we did when we were younger, and some of us still do. And there's so much richness in Dragon Ball. That's why I do videos like the Technique Guide, where I bring up like where Toriyama got his idea from old kung fu movies and Buddhist beliefs and things like that. Because to me, it just shows that this guy Toriyama's a very well-researched guy. Like, maybe he's not in his prime anymore, but he, back in the day in the 80s and 90s, was an animal when it came to studying culture, both Eastern and Western, and putting it into a story. And there's so many little things in Dragon Ball that are just wonderful things that make the series more rich and more powerful. And a lot of anime have this. It's not just Dragon Ball. But because I love Dragon Ball so much, and I've made it my life to learn as much about it as possible, all I'm trying to do is share that information. And in the past, I have shared that information, and people, I mean, some of it is small dick energy, some of it is genuine, have kind of said, oh, well, you think you know everything. No, and I've never once said I know everything. In fact, I'm learning new stuff I got stuff I just learned a couple weeks ago about Dragon Ball I'm going to do a video on that I never even knew. Like, there's all kinds of stuff that I'm learning, and I'll get to understand that it's not that I'm trying to say I'm smarter than everybody else. It's that I'm trying to kind of open up people's eyes. You can do your own research and tell me what you find, right? And I'll listen, but I'm just here because I have a platform, and I want to show people how deep the rabbit hole actually gets. You know what I mean? The technique guides, for example. You know, a lot of folks love to like throw rocks at us and say, oh, you know, they'll always say stuff about us as YouTubers, right? I'm very aware that the technique guides are not like super popular. Like, obviously on my channel, the videos that get a lot of views are usually like the more modern stuff, the more modern like breakdown stuff, and the manga stuff, right? That gets the most amount of views. But I know that the technique guys don't do that great in views, but I don't make those for views. I make those because I enjoy making them. Because even if a technique guy gets 30,000 views, right? That's great because 30,000 more people are exposed to this sort of greater Dragon Ball world, right? And then they can spread the message. Then they can teach others. And I like that. Like, I genuinely enjoy that. You know, and plus a lot of those videos are sponsored, so I end up making a lot of money on them anyways, more than you would know. But not all of them are. And either way, even if they weren't, I would still do them because I enjoy doing technique guides. I enjoy doing videos, even if they don't get that many views. I like doing like the historical stuff, the stuff about, you know, early Toriyama. I like doing that. You know, it's not all about the money to me. It never has been. I didn't even make any money on this platform for a year when I started. So, but I enjoy those videos. I genuinely enjoy making them. And they're also slow growers, you know. They take time to grow. But once people come to my channel, right, and they kind of explore it, my goal is to kind of become like a video Wikipedia. My goal is to become sort of like a reference point. So if somebody wants to look up like, okay, I want to learn about the Kamehameha, I want to learn about the Kaioken, I have videos there that you can either pop into your headphone while you work out, or you can just watch them on your TV or your phone, and with good editing or bad editing, whatever, you know, editing, some have more editing than others, and just kind of learn more. And just, it's not like I'm a teacher, even though some of you have compared me to that, but I just want to kind of spread it out, you know what I mean? And a lot of the research I do, it's not just me doing it. Derek Padula helps me. I've got some of my other friends, like even guys like Seth the Programmer, we'll do some research together. Chuck the Cybercut, like, you know, Herms has helped me a lot in content. You know, it's a team effort here, you know what I mean? And I really wanted to get this message out there because I think, you know, me as a creator, I'm very misunderstood, but it's because the entire series of Dragon Ball is misunderstood. See what I'm saying? It's not just a simple show about fighting. There's a lot more to it than that. And oftentimes I say that it is a simple show, and it is, but there are complexities in there, and that's why I'm here, and that's why I have so many video topics that nobody's touched on before, including me, that I would love to present to you guys in the next few years, and I ain't going nowhere, because there's a lot to talk about, and there is a lot to talk about when it comes to this franchise, and I hope that by the end, by the time that I actually hang it up, and by the time that I'm actually, like, you know, going to retire, whenever that is, and maybe not for years and years and years, but, you know, by the time that I actually decide, okay, I'm done with YouTube, because there will come a day when I will hang it up. I just don't know when. At least I'll have a body of work that people can come to and say, oh, okay, now I know more about the after image technique or hits time skip, you know, and it's just easier, you know, because Dragon Ball Wiki has a lot of, like, weird stuff there that is not correct. Granted, it's been improving a lot in the last few years, but a lot of incorrect information on there, and a lot of folks don't even like reading. They like just listening to videos, and I just make it easier for you. That's why I'm here. It's purely for passion because of how much I love Dragon Ball and how much I want you to appreciate these things. You know, I want you guys to appreciate sort of the work that was put into this series, whether it be production-wise, whether it be, you know, story and character references from other movies and TV shows. And, you know, Dragon Ball, like I said, is very rich. There's a lot of culture, a lot of intricacies to this series, and a lot of lessons to be learned from the characters. And that's why I'm here. So that's pretty much my little, I don't know what you call this, but it was a little sort of discussion point about why I make the videos I make, why I enjoy making them, you know, and it all comes down to what I like to talk about. And that is just, there's so many things, like I could be that guy that covers fan manga, but there's other guys that do that better than me. Blackscape, you know, tons of dudes who do that. Me, I just, and I not that I'm against it, but I try to carve my own path. And there's so much to talk about in the main Dragon Ball story and also with the video games and heroes and whatnot that, you know, that's sort of my niche, you know, is digging up all this Dragon Ball stuff from the actual anime and manga. You got other guys like Nano, you know, D Free, who cover the mobile games. Like, everybody has kind of their place here, you know. And my place is just to help everybody appreciate this series. Like, yeah, you might love Dokkan, but, why is that character like that? Why did this attack do that? Like, that's what I'm here to explain, because a lot of it does get lost in translation, and a lot of it is not always surface level, although some of it is. Anyways, that's it. Remember, I love you guys. Take care of yourself. And, yeah. And like I'm going to repeat what I said earlier. If you have a passion for something, I have a lot of passion for this. If you have a passion for something, don't be afraid to chase it. I mean, like I said, you might have to work 2 jobs and struggle, but that's part of life, And at the end of the day, if you work 2 jobs or 3 jobs even, and you struggle for 5 years or even 10 years, and then you make it, or you at least do something that you're happy about after the 10 years, it's worth it, and the road you took to get there is what you'll remember. Anyways, thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you next time.